Hello guys, thank you for tuning in to this channel. This is a new channel that I just created so that I can teach several things that you need to learn about computers and basically we'll learn as we go. We'll be creating topics as we go on, and I know we shall learn together. Yeah, and for today I want us just to start with creating web application using Java, and as usual, it's basically you need to have some basic skills in maybe Java SE, the common one that is taught in most of the places. But maybe you're asking yourself, how now do you use Java to create web applications? Maybe you have created an Android application, or else you learn as you go on. So for you to create any Java application, for you to code in Java, one thing that you always require is JDK, that is Java Development Kit. Yeah, you need that. That's one tool that you need. And you need also integrated development environment, that is an IDE. That's to make your work easier. It is not compulsory. You can still code without it, but it is paramount for you as developer to have your IDE. Most of the time I'm using NetBeans, so in my most of the learning that we are going to do here, we are going to do them on NetBeans IDE. But if you are used to maybe to Visual Code, to IntelliJ, they're also okay. Yeah, and another thing that maybe you need is a server. Yeah, maybe that's a technical term, but a server is just an application that will help you to serve your pages. You know, we are talking about web applications, and we know that web applications runs on HTTP, whether they will be running locally in your own machine or you'll be hosting them somewhere else. So you need a server. And another need that you may need in the course of learning is relational database management system, or whichever database that you want to use. A database basically where you'll be keeping your persisting your data, and we'll be learning about persisting our data as we go on. So basically for today, I just want to take you through several steps. Yeah, maybe where you get the NetBeans ID, where you get the Java Development Kit from, and maybe where you'll be downloading your Tomcat from. And generally will be creating this tutorial on Linux, specifically Fedora, but you can do the same on Windows. The step will be the same, but I require you to have the basic skills in installing this platform that you'll be using in your own selected operating system. But you want to challenge yourself, pick up Linux, pick up CentOS, pick up Ubuntu, and we'll move on together. Yeah, and let's get on. Oh yeah, okay, fine. So let me just share this. Let's go to the screen whereby you'll be able to download your application. Yeah, so I want to show you where you can download this application, and the first thing that you need is Java Development Kit. This is very important. So for this screen here, you can see I am on oracle.com. You can go to your Google and maybe type let me go back to this page. My internet is slow, but I hope that we are going to do this fast. So when you face it, you can always go download Oracle JDK. You'll be using Oracle JDK. We have different kind of Java Development Kit, but you'll be specifically using that one that is developed by Oracle, but you can also use OpenJDK. But for you to be able to follow up with me, kindly let's just use Oracle JDK, which you just find it on Oracle website. You can see it here. It's written JDK download. Kindly note that we're using JDK, not JRE. Yeah, because we are developing application. JRE is for you to run applications. And on this page here, you can see that we have ARM. This is about the process that is installed in your machine. All these are for Linux. For instance, mine is Fedora 64-bit, so my package is an RPM. Yeah, RPM, this one here. So I just come here and click my RPM. If you're on Ubuntu or Debian, you will download this app here, Linux 64-bit Debian. You can see it here. It's a .deb. It's a Debian package, applicable for Ubuntu and the rest. And you also have others here for ARM processors. Yeah, if your platform is on ARM processor. You also have one for Mac OS here, which is .dmg. There is also packages for Mac OS, and you also have an archive. You can also install it from archive. Actually, for the archive, you don't need to install. You just need to place it in the right location. But always better to use the installer, because the installer is going to set the paths for you. But anyway, you can still decide to use the archive, or which you have to set the paths and all that manually. So even for Windows, you are provided with an installer and also a compressed archive. So it's all about your decision, but I will recommend for you to use an installer so that you can set the paths automatically for you. Yeah, if you have any question on how to set paths, you can always get back to me, and I will show you how to set the paths. So after you download, I say that you should have the basic skills of how to install the package in your own machine. So that is the first part for installing JDK. The second thing that we say that you need is an IDE, and I told you that I will be using NetBeans IDEs, and NetBeans is currently being hosted on apache.org. So you can go to your browser and type netbeans.apache.org. Yeah, and when you go to the download page, you will be presented with this page that I'm showing you here. Yeah, you'll be presented with this page. Yeah, and here you will find the installers and also the archive. As I said, I would recommend you to install from the installers. For instance, they are providing one for Windows 64-bit. We have one .sh. If you are on Linux, you use this one .sh. Yeah, to install a .sh is quite simple. I will be showing you in the course of the course. If you or you can just DM me if you don't know how to install .sh, but just a very simple way. And we also have one for Mac operating system, so which is a .dmg. So that is it for JDK and NetBeans. When you are set with that, we can actually start, but I would maybe recommend that you also install Apache Tomcat. My favorite is Apache Tomcat 8. So, but then you can just go and search for Apache Tomcat download. Okay. Yeah, Apache Tomcat download, and let's see. Yeah, presented with this page here. They have Apache 8, Apache 10, and the rest. Yeah, you can use 9 or 8 or 10, whichever. And you can see they have named their packages. In all the cases, you'll be presented with all this. You can download one for zip, gunzip, 32-bit. If you're on Windows, you download this one or this one. And for Windows, actually, you can have an installer. But on Linux, you won't be presented with an installer, and the same applies for Mac operating system. So for those platforms, I would recommend for you to use a zip or a gunzip, and then you just extract it in a location that maybe can be accessed by other programs, because we are going to integrate our ID, that is NetBeans, with the downloaded server. The other servers, maybe just to give you more details, there are other servers like the Grassfish, currently being hosted as Payara, and we have others, but for now you'll be using Tomcat, which is a fairly simple to use, and it won't be using a lot of your resources, and it will be sufficient for us. For advanced Java EE, you can actually use the same Tomcat. We have Tomcat EE, but for now you will just be creating simple web applications. You will not be doing a lot of JPS. So I hope that so far we are good. Yes, I hope that so far we are good, and you have been able to install those applications. Yeah, actually I was just showing you where you can download them, so that we can be together when I will be opening the IDE. And the NetBeans ID, I just want to open the NetBeans IDs, and then I'm going to show you how it looks like. So this is my NetBeans IDs. Currently I have several projects. You can see them here on this left hand side. These are my projects here, and I'm using a dark theme. Yeah, I'm using a dark theme. Yeah, you can always come and install any plugins that you need. Yeah, maybe you'll be doing this thing with setup afterwards, but plugins in NetBeans, you can go to this menu called Tools, Plugins. Yeah, plugins. Yeah, this is the page where you install the plugins that you need, but by default NetBeans will come with the necessary packages. So but if you feel that you want to install anything that is missing, you can always come here. Yeah, you can check for the plugins that are available for you. Yeah, and you can come here and look for maybe Java EE plugins. I have already installed all of them, so that's okay. Yeah, you can see my installed plugins here. Yeah, these are my installed plugins, and basically that is it for setting your IDE, and it gives you all these beautiful interface. I can close this one so that we can see how the default page looks like without a project. Yeah, sorry, my machine is not that quite fast, but I know that we are going to improve as we go on. Yeah. Another thing that I want to mention, even as I close this part, is that we'll be doing some commands on terminal. That's why I recommended that you can follow me using a Linux box, and actually you can find a terminal inside your IDE. This is my terminal down here. If it is not visible from your side, you can always come to here NetBeans IDE, and up there you can look for I'm looking for the IDE tools there. This is where you find your terminal. You can click on it here, and then it is going to come down here, and I can do my terminal commands there. Yeah, if I want to maybe go to a certain file, I can do all that. Yeah, if I want to do any Maven commands, I will be going down there. But for now, let's just create oh, maybe before then, I talked about you adding your Apache server, that's Tomcat server, to your IDE. You can see we have several tabs here. We have projects, we have files, we have services. So for you to add your Tomcat server to your NetBeans IDE, you can click on that services tab, then go to servers. I hope you can see that servers. You can see mine is already there. Yours, you can just click on that and say add server. Yeah, add server. It will give you a pop-up. Sorry, I have some password management system here. So that is it. So you can select. You can see that the NetBeans IDE support Grassfish, Payara, and Wildfly application server. The first one is Tomcat. So in your case, you select Tomcat, then go next. So here I told you that for Tomcat you just download the zip. For Windows, I know it's just going to be installed somewhere else, but anyway, even on Windows I can maybe encourage you to use the zip. Don't use the installer, so that we can change the servers as we wish. Yeah, it will be simpler that way. So after you have unzipped your Tomcat to your folder, this is the location that you are going to select here as you add your server. So you can come maybe here, maybe mine is always in this default folder here. You can see this my Tomcat. Yeah, I can always come and select, but I won't do that because I already did it before this. Yeah, but if you require me to make that video, you can always request, and I'm going to show you how to add Tomcat into your NetBeans IDE. Yeah, and after that it will just ask you for username and password, and please kindly just put a username and password that you can remember, because when Tomcat is starting NetBeans IDE, it may request you for username and password. Okay, that is good. Okay, we say that we are going to do a small intro on web application development using Java. So for us to have our work made easier, we are going to use JSF, that's Java Server Faces, and we are going to use one implementation which is currently common, which is Prime Faces. Yeah, and by default it is installed. It's already pre-installed in your NetBeans. Okay, this is the advantage of using NetBeans. I know it's not a common IDE, but it comes with most of the packages that you need for developing application using in Java language. Yeah, so let me just show you an example. We can just create a simple project. Yeah, simple project. So you can go to File, New Project, or you can click this icon here. Yeah, after clicking on that, I hope you can see all what we have here. You have Maven project, Gradle project, Ant project. Yeah, all this. And for us, we just need a web application. So even for Gradle, you can also have a web application. Even with Ant, we don't have web application. Yeah. So we can go to Maven. You can see Maven here. Then you can after selecting on that Maven, you'll be presented with several applications here. So for us, we say that we are going to start with web application. You can see a web application there, and click next. Click next. Give your project a name. I'm going to call it Run Java Web. Run Java Web. Click on next. This is the place where you select your server. For instance, if you have installed several servers, you can select yours here. You can always change this, don't worry. You can change it, the process, and the implementation that you need to use for Java E, just use the highest, which is Java E 7, and then from there you just click finish. And so far we have our first project, first web application in Java. Yeah. Okay, fine. So we are still several steps to create a real application, but anyway, let's see what we have here. You can see that Maven here from terminal. That's why I told you that terminal is important for you. Down here you can see terminal is doing some things, generating some application items here. Yeah, so it's good for you to use Maven. It is going to make your work easier. Yeah, it is going to make your work easier. Yeah. Okay, let's see what it has created for us. You can see it has created a project and did a build, a successful build, and actually we can run our application. Let's try that. Right click on it. Let's click on it. I told you that we have already created a full application. Let's run our application. So our application is going to run on Tomcat. Remember that we are using Tomcat server that we have actually selected when we were creating the project. Okay, I hope that's clear. It is going to run on Tomcat. because that's the server that is going to serve our pages. Yeah. Okay. You can see down here it is going to start Tomcat. You can see it has added some Tomcat tabs down here. That's another advantage of NetBeans. It is going to start everything for you automatically, but also it's good for you to learn how to start Tomcat on its own, not when it is integrated on NetBeans, but on its own. Okay. Yeah, and down there you can see the logs from Tomcat is trying to start. I have several applications, so it might take some time, but these logs are very important. For instance, when you have a bug, this is the place where you are going to see your bug from, and you can then actually it will also provide you with hyperlinks, and you can always click on your error and it will take you to the place where the error occurs in your source code. Okay. And we have two logs. We have this one, this for starting Tomcat, and we have this one in case an error occurs, it is going to appear here. Okay, it's going to appear here. Yeah, I hope that our learning will be successful. Yeah, I hope so. Even it might time out if it takes too long to start up. Okay. Yeah, maybe as we wait for that, we can check what has been created in our project automatically by NetBeans. Okay, so we can right click on our project there. So the first folder you can see there is web pages. This is where we'll be having our JSF pages, our HTML and all that. Then here we have source packages. This is where we are going to have our Java code. Okay, we have test packages. Yeah, this just hold test packages. It's just as simple as that. We have libraries. This is the directory that will be listing all the libraries we are using. And when we talk about the libraries, these are kind of the APIs that you use to connect the database, the Maven libraries that you may be using. And you also have test library. This for library that we are using for test. For instance, JUnit library. Okay. Yeah, and then we have the other configuration files. So of our interest, we'll be dealing so much with web pages and source packages folder. And if maybe we are not using Maven, you also be dealing with library folder, because this is where you add your jar libraries, that is Java Archive library. Okay, so you can expand on our web pages and see what we have. So you can see inside web pages we have several folder. We have meta info folder, and we have web info folder, and we have one page that was created for us. In the source code, you can see now here we are just seeing a default package, and unfortunately our build failed, but anyway, you still proceed. So this is whereby you'll be getting our Java source code, and you can see one class was created for us. Let's just open it. Okay, it's loading. Yeah, we got one simple class, Java class. It's just an empty sublet created for us. Yeah, currently we don't have any business logic, and we have our welcome page here. Here it is, an empty page with just an XML, an HTML page, and you can actually write some content here for us to have a welcome page. For now, our page will only have a to-do, that is right content. Okay, so far so good. Let's go back to our logs and see what is going on. Yeah, let's see what happened. And actually you can always check what is going on with Tomcat. So I can check this, how you check the status of Tomcat. I'm going to check if the Tomcat process is running. can use ps, which is a process. That's how you list process in Linux. Then I am going to use that. I will be teaching you this afterwards. And then I will type Apache. Let's see whether our Tomcat is running. You can see down here that our Tomcat is already active. Yeah, that's quite important. So maybe we can try and run our application again. Yeah, our Tomcat will not start this because it's already running. Okay, we have confirmed here. Or it is saying that Tomcat start failed. Okay, so in such a case, you can always come here back to this process here and stop that and kill that process. Don't try to start it because it's already running. Before I restart it, now you are going to do the manual way, so you can kill that process by forcing it to go down, kill 9, 48, 62. Yeah, and then check if our Tomcat is running. You can see that now it is not running. Let's try again to run our application. Yes. We hope that it's going to run successfully. Actually, I did not run this when you are setting up, so I did not test it. That is good for us so that we can learn together. Yeah, and I will take as much time as possible because I know that you'll still be going through the same issues. Okay, so you will not go in a hurry, so that maybe when you are doing it, you'll be wondering. I know in most of the videos that you have been viewing, most of the people pause and fix the bug and then come back and you don't know how they fixed. Yeah, for me, I want you to see everything, the challenges that you might go through. Yeah, so that it will be okay with you. Yeah. And maybe as part of trying to fix, my Tomcat had some other files. So let me show you some things. So my Tomcat is at home. Yeah, this is where I place my Tomcat. Let me just search for it here. Yeah, I have several Tomcats, so I can always go to inside that directory. Your web applications are put in this folder called web apps. Okay, yeah, in this folder called web apps. So you can always check if you have many web applications inside this directory and remove them to make your Tomcat lighter. And because it's still taking a lot of time, let's see the location. Down here you can see from the logs, you can see where our Tomcat is installed. It is actually in that directory. Okay, it is in home, admin, Tomcat, config, Catalina. Yeah, okay. So that's the server. So maybe we can try and add another server. Okay, another Tomcat server. You just select another Tomcat that is placed somewhere. So let's go to Apache Tomcat. Let me try this Apache Tomcat 8. It is telling me to specify username. Tomcat will just use Tomcat. That is no security here because I'm not going to use those for any serious application. Okay, so now I have two servers, and I can actually remove the other server. Yeah, I can just remove it as easy as that. So I'm left with this one. I can actually rename it to Tomcat. Okay. And as we did the other time, we can go here and check if there's any Tomcat process that is there. And you can see that there's a process. Sorry, I'm on Linux, so I'll be mentioning some bits. And they're important because most of the applications that will be hosted will be on Linux. Yeah, so you can see the process ID here. I can do a Kilo9 for that process again. Kilo9 forcefully stops a process. Yeah, so I've stopped it. So we can go back to a project. Actually, this is how now you change the Tomcat. You can go right click on your project, then go to down. The last item is property. Okay, let's see. We are waiting for this to come up. Okay, it has come up. You can go to run. Here it is. And up here you can see that because we removed our server, there is no server to run. So you can select the Tomcat that we have installed. Yeah. Okay. Let's see if this works. If it doesn't work, we continue until it works. We are solving this together. Okay. Am I talking too much? Okay. No problem. Let's see. Let's see what happens. I'm not going to skip this so that you know how to fix these issues because they are bound to happen. You can see our Tomcat is start up. Oh, our Tomcat is trying to start up. Oh, I told you it will be giving you this pop-up. I used my username Tomcat, my password Tomcat. Okay, let's see. Okay. Let's see what happens. Oh, it works. It works. And it has not tried to open my default browser. Which I have not. Let me just bring it to that screen so that you can see it. Oh, this is a very bad browser. You know it. Okay, so this is our first web application. Yes, it's a web application. So you can see our Tomcat is running, and this is our application. So that's our first web application using Java, but you have not yet actually created any Java code. This is just the simple page. Actually, you can change something here. Let's change something small here. Let's create our HTML page. Let's have a header for our page. Okay. Running. Okay. Then this body is still welcome people by telling them welcome to my landing page. Okay. I hope that's interesting. And now actually you can go and try and load our page. Where is our page? Okay, here it is. Oh, here it is. A beautiful page. Yeah, and this just a simple. Actually, you can even copy this link and maybe put it in another browser. Let's do this. Let's do this. Let's do this. You can actually paste it here and see if it still works. Yeah, this is what Tomcat is doing. It should actually work. Yeah, let's see how it looks on Firefox. Oh, yeah, it is. It looks actually more beautiful on Firefox. Anyway, I think it for the moment, and I hope that you have gone through that challenge together, and you are about actually to meet such challenges when you are starting your development. But now our environment is set. If you have any challenge, you can always get back to me, and we have actually tested that our environment is ready to learn our application. So in the next, we are going to go and do some bit of Java and also some bit of JSF. Okay, maybe we are going to add parentheses to our project. For now, it's just pure HTML. Yeah, nothing else, but I will show you how to add all that. So that's it for today. Thank you for watching.